This is Attorney Andy Marcantel and Attorney Marc J. Victor. We are the partners at the Attorneys for Freedom law firm, and today we're going to make kind of an interesting video. What do you think, Marc?
I'm worried, man. I'm leaving the jurisdiction.
We were recently sent this letter by CCW Safe, and we wanted to read it to our listeners today. But before we get here to this kind of irate letter that we'll be discussing, Marc, how did we get here? How did we end up receiving such an angry letter from CCW Safe?
Yeah, so if you're watching this video, you probably know about the Attorneys on Retainer program. I did this video on CCW Safe, and I went through it, and I thought I watched it again today, preparing for this video, Andy. Really,
did they have you sweating a little bit with this letter, Marc, where you had to?
Yeah, as I said, I'm packing my trash right now, getting ready to leave the jurisdiction. But again, I thought the video was very fair to CCW. So I hope people watch the video and decide for themselves.
Well, let's see what CCW Safe has to say. So we released the video among many of our analyses of these various companies, and we released the CCW Safe one earlier in this year, 2023, and March 16th, 2023. We received this. Okay, Mr. Victor, and I should say it's entitled CCW Self-Defense Policy Review, Cease and Desist, in all caps. Mr. Victor, the above referenced video, wherein you discuss particular provisions of CCW Safe's terms of service, contains false, misleading, and defamatory statements regarding CCW Safe services and employees. This letter is to inform you to cease and desist the publication of the above referenced video immediately. The video solicits clients to your Attorneys for Freedom, Attorneys on Retainer, prepaid legal services business while attempting to divert business away from CCW Safe.
Oh my God.
In doing so, you have rendered false and misleading legal opinions regarding CCW Safe's terms of service in reckless disregard for the truth. Your legal opinions ignore the four corners of CCW Safe's terms of service and information readily available on CCW Safe's website. Further, the above referenced video contains false advertising, which is a misdemeanor in both Arizona and Hawaii. We're in the criminal world now, Marc. The video also contains defamatory statements regarding CCW Safe, which gives rise to civil liability in any jurisdiction where CCW Safe does business. As a licensed attorney in Arizona and Hawaii, you are subject to the rules of professional conduct in both states. You have committed professional misconduct under your Arizona bar license by violating Rules 8.4b and 8.4c of the Arizona Rules of Professional Conduct, which state as follows, quote, "It is professional misconduct for a lawyer to commit a criminal act that reflects adversely on the lawyer's honesty, trustworthiness, or fitness as a lawyer in other respects, or to engage in conduct involving dishonesty, fraud, deceit, or misrepresentation." Wow. You have committed professional misconduct under your Hawaii bar license by violating Rule 7.1 of the Hawaii Rules of Professional Conduct, which states, "A lawyer shall not make false or misleading communication about the lawyer or the lawyer's services. A communication is false or misleading if it contains a material misrepresentation of fact or law, or omits a fact necessary to make the statement considered as a whole not materially misleading, or compares the lawyer's services with other lawyers' services unless the comparison can be factually substantiated. If you do not immediately cease and desist the publication of the above referenced video, CCW Safe will take further action against you and your law firm." Oh man, why are you dragging me into this, Marc? Action which CCW Safe may take includes, but is not limited to, the filing of bar complaints with the Arizona and Hawaii bar, requesting criminal charges be filed against you in Arizona and Hawaii, and filing civil defamation actions in any jurisdiction. And it is signed by General Counsel of CCW Safe, Kyle Sweet. Sounds like a sweet guy, Mr. Kyle Sweet. What happened when we received this, Marc?
I'm sure there's a bench warrant out for my arrest right now, Andy. But I get this letter. The first thing that crosses my mind is this a joke? I'm looking at this letterhead, and hopefully we can show it in the video. No address, no telephone number, no email, no website, no contact. My first reaction is, let me get this guy on the phone.
And it wasn't on the envelope that we received it in either, right?
No contact information of.
Or did they email this to us? How did we receive this?
It came in the mail.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it came in the mail.
With no return address.
Nothing. There was no way to contact anybody on this. And I'm thinking to myself, is this a joke? Is this a real law firm? I mean, it just says CCW Safe, and it's like this flimsy piece of paper, and nothing.
We put our civil division, because we have an excellent civil division here at the Attorneys for Freedom Law Firm, and we put our civil counsel first to the task of finding how to contact them back. Obviously, they were pretty upset, and we wanted to at least, as we do as lawyers, have a civil conversation or attempt to have a civil conversation with their counsel to see if we could iron out any particular issues or concerns. Of course, our position is that we didn't do anything wrong. We literally just read their contract and rendered an opinion about it.
Yeah, and of course, I like to stay open-minded, right? Well, maybe I did say something inappropriate. The first thing I did after trying to satisfy myself whether this is real or not is went back to the video that I cut for CCW Safe, and I watched it. And I looked at everything I said. And I looked at why I said it. And I looked at what was in the CCW Safe contract. And the first thing in my head was...
You're telling me it wasn't rife with fraud, dishonesty, deceit, or misrepresentation?
Well, the question in my head was, what is it you're even saying that I said was false or misleading or defamatory in any way? That was my main question. What is it that you're alleging that I said was wrong? Of course, there's nothing in this letter that says what it is that allegedly I said that was incorrect.
Yeah, you'll notice there were no specific allegations.
Nothing at all.
Here's the problem. So we wanted to at least engage in a dialogue. So at pretty significant time, our civil counsel was able to find a return address to the general counsel for CCW Safe in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. So we sent back the following letter.
And by the way, I should know, we sent it on real firm letterhead.
Right. Hey, look, it's our address and our contact information, our email.
Yeah, phone numbers and websites and lawyers listed at the top, and that's what law firm letterhead looks like.
When you send, just as a side point before we get to our response, when you send something threatening a fellow member of the bar with criminal prosecution and reporting them and asking for criminal charges and everything, you should at least have the courtesy to include some contact information, right? So we can attempt to at least have a conversation about that. Well, you would think anyway. So here's our response. Regarding the YouTube video CCW Safe Self-Defense Policy Review 2023. Dear Mr. Sweet, we are in receipt of your letter dated March 16th, 2023, in which you contend the above reference video contains false, misleading, and defamatory statements regarding CCW Safe services and employees. Notably, your letter fails to identify any statements that you claim are false, misleading, or defamatory. That's a pretty significant omission in my view. Yeah. Suffice it to say, we disagree with your position and assert the video contains mere opinions, hyperbolic speech, and direct statements contained in CCW's written policy. In addition, the video does not amount to criminal activity or violate the professional rules of conduct. Moreover, Mr. Victor's freedom of lawful speech will not be curbed by your inappropriate, if not unethical, threats of criminal prosecution. Nonetheless, in an attempt to understand your position as stated in your letter, please identify what statements you claim are false, misleading, or defamatory so that we can review those matters in further detail. So leaving the line open for dialogue here. I look forward to your response. If you have any questions, please let me know. We include all of our contact information, and it's signed by the civil partner at our firm, Jody Broaddus.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting that Jody included a line in here. Mr. Victor's freedom of lawful speech will not be curbed by your inappropriate, if not unethical, threats of criminal prosecution. The reason she puts that in there is, and if there are any lawyers listening to this, they know exactly where I'm going right now. We were all taught in law school, in ethics class, the one thing you don't do, unless you're a prosecutor, is threaten to have a crime brought against somebody in a civil matter. Again, the rule here, it will differ state by state, and states have different rules, but certainly I'd be very surprised if there aren't many, many states in this country, possibly including Arizona, that will find that this letter that Mr. Sweet sent to me threatening criminal prosecution in a civil matter is itself an ethics violation. It's just not something you do as a lawyer unless you're a prosecutor and you can actually bring criminal charges.
Well, at any rate, we send this over to him on April 4th, 2023. We are recording this video on July 3rd, 2023, so it's been a number of months, and we haven't heard anything back yet. So still crickets on that. We'd really like to know what specific statements were made that would even come close to representing these types of allegations.
I think it would be really fun. In fact, maybe somebody from maybe Mr. Sweet or someone else.
Maybe we could have him on the show.
I was just thinking, wouldn't that be nice? And you know,
you can appear by Zoom. We'll host you.
Defamation law in the United States is not about somebody gave an opinion that turned out to be wrong.
Right. It's a high bar.
It's a high bar. Defamation is you asserted something as a true statement that you knew was false.
You have to, knowledge of its falsity is required.
Absolutely. And in this video, people should watch it. I think everything I said was completely accurate, but I did say, look, this is my opinion. Read it for yourself. I don't know how a court is going to interpret it. There's a lot of squishy language in there. CCW Safe may come out and say, well, here's the way we interpret. Okay, great. Maybe write your contract in a way that it's clear. But they wrote it in a way that it wasn't so clear, or it was clear that they weren't covering certain things, and those are the things that I pointed out in the
and we,
contract.
of course, are not the only attorneys on the planet to hold these opinions and these critiques about these policies, right? There's lots and lots of concern about these, and rightly, people are concerned before signing up for them. And so if you were to just Google search any of these policies, you're going to find a lot. But apparently they found yours particularly inciting, Mark.
Yeah, why do you think they want me to remove that video?
It's very curious.
Yeah, why is it they would want me to take down a video where I'm simply going through their contract, putting up verbatim on the screen exactly what it is in their contract that I'm reading from, and just telling people, here's what you get. And say, look, if you're a member of CCW Safe, read it. If you're thinking about it, read it. Then that way you'll have an understanding of what it is you're signing up for. Look, there's probably some things that CCW Safe covers that we don't cover in Attorneys on Retainer program. And so there are, as we've said in many of these videos, there are advantages to some of the other companies. They offer lots of them training.
Yeah, I imagine CCW Safe is a wonderful organization that has all kinds of other really cool things, right? We're lawyers. We specialize in legal defense, so.
They need better letterhead. If the letterhead is representative of what's going on.
Included a little more information, it would be helpful.
Yes. The letterhead is a little
I don't get this part, too. One of the accusations in here, Mark, is it says, the video solicits clients to your Attorneys for Freedom, Attorneys on Retainer prepaid legal services business while attempting to divert business away from CCW Safe. They say that like it's an argument.
Right.
Well, we're capitalists. Yes, it is true. We are trying to divert people from other competing businesses.
We're trying to put accurate...
Because we believe that we have a superior product. That's correct.
That's
just like
right.
when McDonald's does a commercial about our burgers are better than Burger King, Burger King doesn't get to sue them for defamation or accuse them of criminal fraud. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, we're doing our best to put very accurate information out to the market and make the case why, if what you're looking for is to have a lawyer who you've selected to represent you in court, if you're charged with a felony on a self-defense matter, I think we have the better product. If what you want is something else, right? You want scene cleanup or money for, training programs or...
We've said this many times. We are not going to clean your house.
Yeah.
We're attorneys.
We don't do scene cleanup.
We do a bad job at it anyway.
We don't put up the bond money for you. These are legitimate things.
There's training that these companies offer. There's all kinds of other things.
These are legitimate things that people might want. You can certainly get that. There are some people in Attorneys on Retainer who also pay for the programs that some of these other companies have because they want those additional things. That's fine. What we offer, we're criminal defense lawyers. We offer criminal defense services. If that's what you're looking for, check out AOR. It might be nice that you're getting the scene cleaned up from some insurance company funds, but if you're rotting away in prison, spending a whole bunch of time that maybe you didn't have to spend, or you could have spent less time or something like that, you'd rather have an insurance company, deal with the insurance company.
Right.
You want a criminal defense lawyer, check out Attorneys on Retainer.
Any final thoughts on this letter, Mark? We are open if CCW Safe or one of its representatives or counsel would like to contact us. We will remain open-minded. We will listen to what you have to say. We are very interested if we made a mistake on correcting it. But until you help us understand what the problem is, we're going to stay the course and stand by proudly every single thing that we've said about these companies so far.
Yeah, and I know they watch our videos, so if they're inclined to send us another letter, please include an email address or a phone number. It'd be nice. I'm just saying, it's a nice courtesy to have on your firm letterhead.
It's always a plus if you intend to actually make a dialogue, right?
That's a good point. Yeah.
At any rate, go check out all of our videos. Like I said, links in the description for all of the different reviews we've done. And of course, if you have any questions or comments, or maybe you watched our policy video and can specify a specific, egregious, horrible, defamatory thing we did, we want to hear all of it. We want to have a discussion. We respond to nearly 100% of our comments in the comments section. If you make a respectful and inquisitive and civil comment, we're going to get a response to you guaranteed. So please comment below and like and share this video if it was helpful. Until next time, this has been Attorney Andy Marcantel and Attorney Marc Victor. We're the partners from the Attorneys for Freedom Law Firm. Peace out.
Peace.